I've spoken before about fake businesses and fake economies. I want to highlight to you, because it's very important, a fake business, or I'm going to say a ghost corporation, however you want to call it. I'm going to call it a ghost corporation in this video. A ghost corporation is a business that's fake, but it's meant to cover something. It's not fake for decoration. It's not art. It's there to cover up other activities that's going on. And an easy way to recognize a fake business is to check the name. Every business has a name, or else you can't Google the business, or else you can't find the business. Every business needs to have a name. Some businesses have several names because they have several activities. Because businesses often have one main activity and some sub-activities. Now, some businesses have the main name for the main activity and some names for the sub-activities. That happens. So there's nothing wrong with that, but if you encounter a business, check the name. If the name is off, I mean too off, then check the background of that business. For example, years ago, I was at a hotel, and the hotel, the name translated in English is translated as very normal. So the hotel was called Very Normal. At the time, I really didn't bother with that. But when because I was with a group of friends, I was in my late teens at the time, so it's around, I believe, 80 years ago now. So, okay, but it's a while ago. When I arrived there, I noticed that they had no modern equipment. Because the cash registry was old-fashioned. Okay, some businesses have old-fashioned cash registries, but I thought it was a bit weird. When I asked to check the guest list, because we have made reservations, so I asked the people there, show me the guest list. When I checked the guest list, we were not on the list. I thought this was quite weird. And then I had the money in my hands. I wanted to pay, but they told me, pay tomorrow. And I was thinking, hold on a minute. Which hotel permits you to stay without paying? But they tell us pay them tomorrow. It's not a big problem. They even gave us the keys. So I was thinking, okay, this is a bit weird. But okay, we were about to have a good time that weekend at an anime convention, so we didn't want to spoil the fun. But when we entered the hotel, because you had to leave the cafe to enter to another entered the hotel, there was a statue of a gnome. No, in English you don't speak the pronunciation gnome. Or they call it bakru in Surinamese. And we had those small, and it was a statue of one of those small demonic entities. They also called it dwarf in English. So I was thinking, oh, okay, why do they have a statue of such an entity over here? I knew that some Dutch people love those creatures because they used to watch Smurfs, they were little, and they're into this fantasy that those things are just art, there's nothing behind it. I didn't want to think too much of it, but I thought, okay, this is off. Because if you put a decoration in a place, the context must match. You can't have a room that's completely in blue and you put something in yellow over there. It's people can think, what is this? In order to have harmony for the visitors, the design must be in harmony. But you had a modern layout, but a statue of a dwarf over there. And I was thinking, this doesn't match. Well, I thought, it's not my hotel, your problem, so I just paid to stay. Went to our rooms. First, the keys didn't want to work. It took a while before the keys worked. Okay. So we arrived, we were in the rooms. I had the room all to myself. Then I noticed something weird. The hotel was empty. I mean it. On our floor, we were the only ones there. There were 3 teenage girls that also came to the hotel the day that we arrived, but the next day they left. And I was thinking to myself then, why is this hotel so empty? There's an anime convention over here. People from all over the Netherlands, some even Belgium, are coming to this event. And besides that, there were more events around there in that town. So I'm thinking, there are many events going on this weekend. And this hotel is relatively cheap. Why are most of the rooms empty? Why are most of the floors empty? You don't hear anyone else. Normally in a hotel, when people are there, you hear them walk, you hear people come in and out because they go to the stores. Nothing. No traffic whatsoever. Then we came back from the supermarket. This was at the end of the first day. And the door to my room was open. Even though the guy that lent the key, because you use those passes, those cards as a key, that guy had to get another room in another hotel because, well, on the reservation some mistake was made, well, that he wasn't allowed to stay in the room of someone else. So I thought, okay, you can stay at my room, I don't mind, but it was not allowed. So that guy borrowed the key to pick up his stuff, and when he came back to the hotel, the room was open, and the guy made, I don't want people to swear, but they swore that he had closed the door. When we entered my room, there was a thick smell. Also in the other rooms there was a smell, and we were thinking, what is this? But okay, we stayed at the hotel for that weekend. That buddy of ours got another room in another hotel at the convention itself. After we left, I realized that we should have left the first moment we arrived. I was 19 at the time, so that's about 8 years ago indeed. We should have left the first moment we arrived. Nothing added up with that situation. And there was this friend of mine back then who booked a room at that hotel, but later he withdrew it. He didn't even went to that convention anymore. And he was a frequent visitor of such conventions, also comic conventions. But he didn't tell anyone why he canceled that hotel. Nothing happened to us, but I'm using this as a warning to you. When you arrive at the place and too many things don't add up, just leave. I don't care why you're there, leave. Because those fake corporations, when they lure people for blood sacrifices or people to be kidnapped, they often put warning signs in the name of their business and also in the decoration of their business. Why warning signs? In case someone is trapped, they want to be able to blame the victim by saying, well, the name was off or the decoration was off, so you should have realized something. They try to do evil without having to deal with the guilt of doing evil. That's why I do it. And it's a second reason. They worship the beast. They worship Apollo. So they need to show veneration to the beast in a decoration and in the name of their business. In this case, that hotel was called Very Normal. But nothing about the hotel was normal. So the name already was a red flag. That statue in the hall when you entered was a red flag. That hotel was kind of empty was a red flag. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because I want you to realize that you need to be alert. I had to learn to be alert myself also. I knew that pagans did dirty stuff. But at the time I didn't think that they would go so far to fake a hotel. Eventually we paid our stay for the hotel, of course, because I'm real. If you offer me a service, let me say if I'm coming to you and I want to purchase a service, I'll pay for the service. I'm not going to rob you. So we paid. But even when we came to pay, the place where the cash registry was closed. So we had to call them and had to return later on the day. I mean, which business, first of all, remains empty during a season where there's many visitors in the town? And secondly, which business makes it hard for you to pay them? Well, the purpose is that you pay them for the service or the product, right? So why do they make it difficult for you to pay them? Listen, whether it's a hotel or a restaurant, or maybe it can even be a government office. If you notice that too many things don't add up, just leave. And I want to mention one more thing. I didn't mention this earlier in the video, but that day that we were about to visit that town for that convention, there was a delay with the trains. And one of those buddies of ours couldn't find his metro ticket. So we had to wait on that. And besides that, we were all late over there because we wanted to leave early in the morning so that we could arrive there when it wasn't that occupied. We ended up arriving there not really in the late afternoon, but around 3 before in direction of 3 p.m. So that things went wrong on our way there was also a red flag. I'm never going back to that hotel, and I won't even recommend it to anyone. But I'm speaking about it so that you guys understand such things happen. You have those pagans who are inaugurated into the occult. They're not just common pagans out there who are just using the paranormal for the good or for their own interest. You have pagans who are inaugurated into the occult and they need to comply with kidnapping people and making blood sacrifices. Or sometimes with collective deception in general. So they'll have fake businesses, fake corporations, sometimes even fake schools. You may see a building over there, you see it's a school, but you seldom see pupils over there or students. And you think, how can it be a school or an academy, but you barely see people there? Such things happen. Or it can be that you have in a town, you have a neighborhood where the so-called rich live, and there are beautiful houses over there, and there are some cars in the yards. But you notice that anytime you ride on your bicycle through that neighborhood, you don't see anyone there. You may see a mailman delivering some mail, but those houses, it's kind of like they're decorated, but they're vacant. And you think that's impossible. Which real estate corporation is going to construct houses, decorate them, maintain them, and keep them vacant? Why would they do that? That is to deceive people in thinking that very rich people living over there. Those houses are there to deceive the population. If you go online, you may see that some of those houses are for sale. But if you apply to meet the real estate officer to purchase one of those homes, there's so much paperwork coming for you that eventually you think, you know what, I don't want this house. Why is that? Because those houses are not intended to be sold, nor to be inhabited. They're there to deceive people. It can be that those houses are used to hide cocaine. It can be there's a big cocaine business in that city, and the police tries to arrest all the drug dealers because they want all the drugs from the streets, and they think the drugs come from Colombia through the harbor. But it's not coming from the harbor, even though much of the cocaine comes from Colombia, and there is cocaine arrived from Colombia in the harbor. So the people think you need to wash the harbor, but no. The cocaine is homemade, and those fancy villas, which are vacant, Once in a while, an actor goes there to pretend he's living there, but those houses contain blocks, heavy blocks of cocaine. And around midnight, around the witch hour, you have so-called visitors that visit family, they go there, they pick up cocaine, and then they give it to the drug dealers. So then the people are deceived thinking there's cocaine coming from Colombia, but it's not coming from Colombia, it's homegrown. People are distracted by the so-called drug cartels that are exporting into the United States. It's homegrown. So keep your eyes open. Okay? Keep your eyes open. Don't just take things for granted. For example, it can be, because this also happens, those pagans are inaugurated. I'm talking about all pagans here, but I'm talking about those who are inaugurated. Those who are inaugurated go very far. It can be that you have a couple, and the couple, they make lovely pictures together, they put on Instagram, they also put it on Facebook. You can see on Facebook that, for example, Marie has a relationship with Justin since 2016 on the 5th of March. You see all of that. Then one day, you encounter this Mary. And this Mary looks at you and she's kind of frightened. And it's as if you feel like there's a demon inside of her that's frightened of you. And you think, okay, hi Mary. Mary says hi to you, she talks to you. Then you ask, how's your boyfriend? She says, oh, I think he's fine. And then you think, huh? You live with the guy. You make all those lovely pictures together. And I haven't seen you for about 2 years. So I encounter you together with a friend and I ask you, how's your boyfriend? The boyfriend knows me. He said happy birthday to me once, because he's busy with a job, allegedly. So I asked, how is he? She says, yeah, I think he's so fine. How can you say I think he's fine? You should say, we're fine, thank you. Oh yeah, we're fine, but he's busy now. And then you think, huh? This is not a normal reaction for a couple that's in love, living together, and having a good time together. This seems like a fake relationship. And then you remember that 6 years earlier on social media she mentioned she was turning lesbian. And she said, sorry guys. And then you think, huh? And then when you remember this, that's Holy Spirit reminding you, and then you realize, oh, now I know what's going on. Those folks are maintaining a fake relationship to convince the world while both are doing other stuff behind the scenes. So the whole relationship is a cover-up. They may rent a house, but it's not even sure if they really live together over there. That's how you often have those couples that instead of having children, they take cats or dogs. Now there are couples who are not doing God's will, therefore they rather have pets than having their own babies. But if you have a couple, for example, that they prefer pets over their own kind, babies, human beings, and they're young and they have things so-called economic going for them, ask yourself, is this just a pagan cover-up? Such things happen also. Look, I don't want to talk too much about my experiences on these videos. You know why? Because it's not about me. I'm here to teach you so you will walk by faith. And you need to know there are a lot of fake things in this world. You have fake operations or fake businesses. You have fake academies, fake schools. You have fake relationships, fake marriages, fake neighborhoods, fake churches. The pagan rules of this world, together with the inaugurated pagans that support them, they go very far. They go very far. It's not only the older ones, many youngsters that also go very far in it. So just pay attention when you arrive at the place. It's not only when you're on a holiday or when you're going out. It can be just in your neighborhood itself. Just pay attention. If you see a house and the house is decorated, but you see someone entering and leaving that place, what's going on there? It can be that there's a master of ceremony of the local pedophile ring that's living there, and that there are children kept in there, in the basement. And they keep the children over there until they can transport them for ceremonies. But when you see that guy, he's not often at home. He's a bit obese, he's smiling all the time, and he doesn't look like a guy that would be involved in anything cruel like that. But that's how those pagan deceivers operate. They maintain a facade to make you think one thing while the other is happening. That's why you have some people that are very secretive. Now, someone can be a bit introvert. I'm not saying that's not possible. But if someone is too introverted and too secretive, ask some questions. And if you notice that someone tries to project anxiety onto you, then absolutely pay attention, because it can be that they notice that you are alert, and now they are frightened that you may be alert on them. So now they try to project their anxiety onto you to distract you with that anxiety, because now you will think, why does individual look at me like that? Why doesn't she like me? Or why are they treating? What's wrong with him or her? They are distracting you with anxiety, so you won't notice the real them, what they're doing. I'm telling you, keep your eyes open. Not everything is fake in this world, okay? There are people with real businesses, there are real corporations. Of course, there are real schools, real academies. There are. But there's a lot of fake things also, and those fake things are distractions to hide other things that are happening. If you enter a store, and I really want you to do this, if you enter a store, the store was empty, the store is open, and you enter in with a good attitude, you say good morning, good evening, or whatever time of day it is, and you want to buy something, you're not there to steal. You don't come in with your hood on and like that. No, you just enter in politely. You want to purchase something, and when you enter in, you have to call for someone to come. That's a red flag, because there should be someone there in case customers come in. And when someone arrives, they look angry at you as if they really don't want you there. That's a red flag. Anyone with a business should want to have as many customers as possible, because they depend on the customers to pay their rent. They depend on their customers to also pay their mortgage if you have one. They depend upon their customers to pay their taxes. They depend upon their customers for their income. They don't have anything else. Most of them. So they would be glad to have customers. It doesn't matter if you are an annoying bloke from the street, as long as you come and you pay, you are supporting them, you are financing them, you are sustaining them. It's the customers that sustain them. So they'll make sure they're smiling to you. Even if they can't stand you, that's their problem, they can't stand you. You're the customer, they make sure they serve you. If you enter a store and they really don't want to see you there, get out of there. It may have nothing to do with racism or anything like that. That's what a lot of folks think, especially if the tone of the skin is a bit different. It's not, I'm telling you, it's not racism. That business has demonic things they're covering up. And if you have the Holy Spirit that you enter that store, the demons are alert that you're entered in. And the individual who's working there is also aware of it. Probably he or she is an inaugurated pagan also, whether an inaugurated witch or an inaugurated warlock. So when you enter in with the Holy Spirit inside of you, you enter in with power. So they sense there's power entered in, and they don't know what this power is. They may not know it's the Holy Spirit, but they know, this individual has power, what this individual wants to do. It can be that there are 3 suspicious customers walking around. And you should pay attention to those suspicious customers. Nobody pays attention to you only. Or you enter a library, and there is this, and this happened a few times with me, there is this security guard. He's standing there. Okay? I enter in. He only pays attention to me. I'm not stealing. I don't have any weird clothes on. I'm not smelling or anything like that. But he pays attention to me. But this is the guy doing. And there are other people walking around also. Some people walk around very angry as they're about to explode. He doesn't notice that. He only pays attention to me. What's going on? That means that the library, even though it's a library, is also used as a cover for other stuff. Pay attention. Don't take things for granted. Well, that's it for now. Keep agreeing with Christ and be at peace.